Pay attention to this and understand the true meaning of rejection. Hear this: rejection is not a sign that you are unqualified. It is often evidence that you are stepping beyond average. Every true leader must learn this early. Rejection is not your enemy. Misinterpreting it is. A strong leadership truth can be drawn from the life of Jesus Christ. He was rejected by his own people, doubted by those closest to him, and opposed by systems of power, yet none of these rejections altered his assignment. That is the posture of a true leader. You don't derive your identity from acceptance, and you don't abandon purpose because of resistance. Rejection often attacks your sense of worth, but a leader understands that a no is not a definition of who you are. It is simply feedback about timing, alignment, or perception. When you tie your identity to people's approval, rejection will destabilize you. When your identity is rooted in purpose, rejection refines you. Every rejection carries a message, sometimes about improvement, sometimes about direction. Weak leaders take it personally, strong leaders take it seriously. Ask, what can I learn here? What needs adjustment? What must remain unchanged? Not every door is meant to open. Rejection often serves as divine or strategic redirection. Leaders who lack clarity chase acceptance. Leaders with vision pursue assignment. Stay focused on where you are going, not who is clapping for you. Leadership is not for the fragile. Rejection builds endurance. If you cannot stand being misunderstood, overlooked, or even opposed, you will shrink under pressure. But if you learn to stand firm, rejection becomes training for greater responsibility. Never let rejection push you into bitterness, pride, or withdrawal. A leader responds with composure. Sometimes the best response is silence. Sometimes it is improvement. Sometimes it is moving forward without explanation. Consistency breaks the power of rejection. Many fail not because they were rejected, but because they stopped. True leaders continue. They refine, adjust, and return stronger. A leadership principle to hold on to. Rejection is not a dead end. It is a filter. It separates those who are driven by approval from those who are committed to purpose. If you handle rejection correctly, it will do three things for you. Strengthen your character. Clarify your direction. Qualify you for higher responsibility. In the end, leadership is not proven when you are accepted. It is revealed when you are rejected and still remain committed, focused, and unwavering. Rejection is not a verdict, it is a moment. And moments, no matter how painful, do not have the authority to define destiny. Too often, rejection feels personal. It pierces deeper than words, sitting quietly in the heart, whispering questions. Am I not good enough? Did I fail? Should I stop? Even in the life of Jesus Christ, rejection was not occasional, it was constant. He was misunderstood by those who followed him, betrayed by one of his own, and denied by a close disciple. Yet through it all, he never questioned his assignment. He never reduced his calling to fit people's comfort. That is the mark of leadership, unwavering alignment with purpose, even when surrounded by opposition. A leader must understand this deeply. Rejection is not always about you. Sometimes it is about timing. Sometimes it is about capacity. Rejection will test your identity before it ever tests your ability. If your identity is built on applause, rejection will crush you. But if your identity is built on purpose, rejection will refine you. Because every rejection forces a decision. Will you retreat into comfort, or will you rise into growth? You need to ask this. What is this teaching me? Where must I grow? What must I ignore? Because not every rejection is an instruction. Some are distractions, and discernment is what separates maturity from insecurity. There will be doors that close in your face, not because you are unworthy, but because those doors were never designed for your destiny. Rejection is often divine protection, wearing the disguise of disappointment. And then there is the emotional weight, the loneliness of being misunderstood. But hear this clearly. Greatness is not built in moments of acceptance. It is forged in seasons of rejection. Rejection stretches your capacity. It teaches you to stand alone without feeling abandoned. A true leader learns how to remain soft in heart but strong in spirit. You do not allow rejection to make you bitter, and you certainly do not allow it to make you quit. Sometimes your response will be silence. Sometimes it will be growth, your vision in the first place. Consistency is your greatest weapon, because rejection loses its power when you refuse to stop, but leaders return, stronger, wiser, sharper, unshaken. Rejection is not a dead end, it is a filter. It removes distractions, exposes weaknesses, and reveals strength. If you embrace it correctly, rejection will strengthen your character, sharpen your focus, deepen your faith, and prepare you for levels you are not yet ready to handle. So when rejection comes, and it will, do not interpret it as failure. Interpret it as preparation. In the end, leadership is not proven when crowds accept you. It is revealed when you are rejected, yet you remain standing, still focused, still becoming. And one day you will look back and realize every rejection was not pushing you away from your destiny. It was pushing you directly into it. Rejection rarely arrives loudly. It comes quietly, through closed doors, silence, or a sudden shift in atmosphere. It often gives no explanation, and that is what makes it dangerous. Because what you assume about rejection can either build you or break you. Many do not fall because they were rejected, but because they misinterpreted it. A no became, "I am not enough." A delay became, "I am forgotten." But a true leader thinks differently. A leader understands that rejection is not a conclusion. It is a conversation. It asks, are you secure in who you are? Can you stand without validation? Can you continue without applause? This is where leadership is separated from ambition. Even in the life of Christ, rejection was not an interruption. It was part of the journey. He was misunderstood, opposed, and dismissed, yet he never negotiated his identity with people. He moved with clarity, not consensus. That is leadership, clarity over approval. But rejection breaks that chain. It forces you to stand alone, to believe without evidence, to move without reassurance. And in that space, something powerful is formed, inner authority. Some rejections are about your difference. You were not rejected because you are less, but because you do not fit environments built on sameness. A leader does not shrink to fit, they expand to stand. There is also a danger. Rejection can make you rush, to prove, to be seen, to force results. But rushed purpose becomes compromised purpose. A disciplined leader does not react. They respond. They understand that timing is as important as talent. Rejection is not asking you to prove yourself. It is asking you to prepare yourself. There will be seasons where nothing seems to work, where effort is unseen and your voice unheard. Do not misread that season. Seeds grow in silence. Strength is built in obscurity. Depth is formed where no one is watching. If everything opened too quickly, you would arrive without the capacity to sustain it. So rejection slows you, not to stop you, but to stabilize you. Guard your heart in these moments. Rejection can turn into bitterness, insecurity, or pride, but all are traps. A true leader stays balanced, humble enough to learn, strong enough to continue, wise enough to discern. And they keep moving, not loudly, not desperately, but steadily. Because progress is not always visible, but it is always powerful. Here is the deeper truth. Rejection is not removing you from your path. It is removing everything that cannot walk that path with you. So do not ask, why me? Ask, what is being refined in me? Because if you endure it well, rejection will give you what acceptance never could: unshakable confidence, clear direction, emotional discipline, and the strength to stand, whether noticed or ignored. In the end, it is about remaining committed to purpose, even when people choose against you. And those who master rejection become the ones the world cannot ignore. And so when the doors close, when the voices fade, when the silence feels louder than the applause ever did, stand firm. Because your journey was never meant to be validated by the crowd, but established by conviction. Let rejection sharpen you, not shake you. Let it deepen you, not diminish you. Let it position you, not push you out. You were not created to be accepted everywhere. You were created to be effective where it matters. So rise again, walk again, believe again, not because it is easy, but because you are called. And as you move forward, hold this truth close. Rejection may delay you, it may test you, it may even isolate you, but it will never stop the one who refuses to quit. Stay focused, stay grounded, stay becoming, because in the end, the same rejection that tried to break you will become the very story that proves you were built to rise above it. Rejection is not your ending, it is your preparation. It is not your weakness, it is your training ground. And it is not working against you, it is working for you. So do not fear it, do not run from it, do not misunderstand it. Stand through it, grow through it, rise through it. Because those who endure rejection with purpose are the ones who eventually walk in undeniable impact. And when your moment finally comes, you will not just be ready, you will be unshakable.